Yeah, hi team. Today we're gonna take topic called action in QTP. So what is action? Correct? And why we use action? Fine. So we use action to divide test script into different action, and we can streamline process of testing our application. Correct? So script part is basically action. Fine. So how to use action in QTP? Correct. And action is nothing but it's a logical segregation of a test script, right? We can divide test script into different action. Fine. Every test script will contain by default action 1. Here we can see it displaying action 1. Fine. So every test script will contain by default action 1. Fine. Also every action contain its own data table. Every action will contain its own separate data table. Plus also action will contain its own object repository, right? So if we select here and open object repository, so this action object repository is different. So every action will contain its own data table and own object repository. Fine. So we can create here multiple actions. Okay, we can create multiple actions, and that action we can reuse in any other test script also. Fine. So let's take one scenario to understand this actions. Fine. So we are testing today this application called flight reservation. Fine. So let me explain here functionality first. So here first we have to enter agent name, password for this application is by default Mercury. Correct. So in this application flight reservation there is a 3 scenarios there: new order, open order and fix order. Okay, so there are 3 scenarios are there, and for that we have to do testing. Fine. So let's make a roadmap for this actions. So we have a 3 scenarios. Okay, and we are testing application flight reservation. Correct. Fine. So we have scenario number 1 called open order. Fine. Scenario number 2 new order. Scenario number 3 fax order. Okay, so we have 3 scenarios. Fine. And if we properly observe all these 3 scenarios, each time we have to do what? Login and log out. Okay, if we do login, then only we can reach to new order, open order and fax order, and last we do exit. Right. So every scenario login log out is common. So what we can do, this scenario we can divide into actions, right? So our first action will be login for open order. Correct. Second action will be open order. Action 3 will be log out. Fine. Exactly same for new order. First action will be login. New order will be second action. Log out. Fine. Same way for fax order. First action will be login, fax order, and then log out. Correct. So whole script we have divided into action. Whole script we have divided into actions, right? So if you properly observe here, each time login and log out action is common. Correct. Login action and log out action is common, or that test script part is what? Common. Correct. That test script part is what? Common. Fine. So one option is what? We can record open order from login, open order, log out, same way for remaining also. Or second option, which is more logical, what we can do, we can create first login action and logout action, and then we can call this into all actions. Okay, we can call this login and logout action in all scenario or maybe actions. So it saves a lot of time, and we not required to write or create test script login and logout. We have to simply call that. Fine. So it save lot of time, which save a lot of time. Fine. So for this we can use actions, right? So let's take scenario for first login logout. Correct, login and logout. So first we have to create action login and logout, and then we can call in these three scenarios. Fine. So how we can create these three login and logout actions for these three scenario? Correct. Fine. Let's save this script first. File, save as. Okay. So now first let's save this script. Okay, and this script name we are giving, let's say flight reservation. Fine. Okay, and now click save. Right, click save. Fine. Here we can see by default it displaying action 1, and now we want to create new action. We want to insert new action called login and logout in this script. So how we can insert, right? So go to menu, go to insert, and we can see here call new action, right? So click call new action. Fine. As soon as we click, it will display insert call to new action, right? Because we want to create new action called login. So here give a name login. Fine. Give a name here login. Fine. It displaying here check reusable action. Now what mean by reusable actions? So any actions are by default in QTP reusable actions. So there are two kind of actions. Okay, reusable actions and non-reusable actions. So now what mean by reusable actions? So name describe itself. Reusable action means this action could call in other test script also multiple times. Okay, because it's a reusable, so we can reuse this in any other test script, and we can call multiple time in any other test script or same test scripts. Fine. But non-reusable action means this action can only call once in that test script. It can't use or call in any other test script because it's a non-reusable actions. Okay, it's a non-reusable action. So by default in QTP 10 all actions are reusable actions. Fine. If we want, we can make this non-reusable action, so just uncheck this, so it become non-reusable action, right? But according our planning, we want login and logout as a reusable action, so here check that. So we can use this action in any other test script, right? So we have made this reusable action, and now click OK. Fine. So login action is ready. Same way, let's create second action called logout. Same process, insert, call new action, give name logout. Okay, and now click OK. Fine. So there are two actions, login and logout is ready. We can see here for login there is separate data table, logout there is separate data table, right? For login also we have a separate object repository, correct? And logout we have a separate object repository, correct? So every action contains its own data table and own object repository. Fine. Here we don't want action 1, here we don't want action 1, so select that action, right click and delete that action. Correct. So we have removed that action from our script. Fine. So now we can create test script for login and logout. Okay, we can create test script for login and logouts. Right. See here displaying reusable actions, login and logout. Fine. So let's make script for login and logout. So write system-util.run. Right. And we want to open this application. So we have to give file path of that application, correct? Fine. So let's try to debug and check whether this syntax is correct. Okay, fine. So we have open here login action, right? So now script is ready. Okay, our script is ready, right? Wherein we have open flight resort application. Fine. Now we can do what? We can record this script, okay, or we can add objects. Correct? We can record script or we can add objects, right? So open object repository. Okay, open object repository for login, right? And we can add object agent name, password, and OK button, right? So object, add object to local, add first agent name, okay, password, OK button. Correct? So all objects we have added in object repository. Now we can write script here for this. So first we have to write, okay, parent object called dialog. So right here dialog login dot child object, this is win, agent name is win added box. Correct? Write agent name, okay, dot method is set test. Okay, so here we have entered valid agent name. Correct? Second step, enter valid password, then click on OK button. Fine. So here now we can write script, or we know shortcut is drag and drop. Select that object and here we can do drag and drop. So we can use both method, right, which is convenient for you. Fine. Now let's save this script, right? So now our login action is get ready. Okay, login action is get ready. Let's try to debug this and see if our script is correct or not, right? Let's start debug. Fine. So let's try to debug. Correct? So you entered password, right? Again click step into, right? So now it will click OK button, and now our login action is get completed, right? Login actions get completed. Fine. Okay, now last we have to close this application. Okay, we have to close this application. Fine. So this action is our login action. So I can write here, let's say print login action is started, right? So it will just prompt us that which action is started. Here print login action is ended. Fine. Now we are going to make script for logout action. So select logout action, right click, okay, and open object repository. Correct? And now we want to do logout, so we have to add this flight reservation application object. Okay, correct, and we just want only selected object only, right? This we have seen in our object repository topic. Correct? If we select all objects, it will add all objects, but we just want parent object, so click OK, right? So it will add only parent object. Fine. So now we have to close this application, so write close. Correct? So now script is ready, right? Now let's try to debug one more time and let's check whether our script is working fine. Okay, so here we have used print first, so it's displaying which action is started. Correct? Now we have enter username, password, click OK button, And last, now we have reach at logout action, right? Click debug, so it will close that logout action. Fine. So here we can write print logout action is started. Fine. And here print, okay, logout action is ended, right? So our 50% work is done. Okay, we have created action login, okay, and logout, right? So now we have to create action for open order, right? So we have to create action for open order, and now login and logout will call in this test script. Fine. So now our 50% work is done. Let's save this script and open new test script, right? Let's open new test script, and this test script we are going to make for open order. Fine. Open order, correct? So now we can create new action, call new action for open order, or what we can do, this action 1 we can rename this. Okay, so right click, action property, and let's try to edit or rename this, right? So let's rename this as a open order. Fine. So displaying here option action property, okay, action name we have given open order, right? And here displaying reusable action. Fine. But this open order maybe we don't want to use in any other test script, so let's uncheck this. Okay, and this is now non-reusable action. Okay, so this action we cannot use in any other test script, right? Because it's a non-reusable action. Fine. So according to our planning, we can make it any action reusable or non-reusable. Fine. Now click OK. Fine. So as soon as we click OK, we have renamed open order action. Now see, open order data table also we can see here. Fine. And now we can record script for open order, correct? So start recording, select window application, click OK, right? So now we are in recording mode. So go to file, open order. Fine. And first we have to give here order number, let's say order number 5. Okay, click OK. Fine. So as soon as we click OK, we can see order number 5 is open, correct? Order number 5 is open. Fine. Now when we open order, we can do some other things such as order, update order, delete order also, correct? Update order, delete order also. Fine. So that we can also add as a scenario, update order, delete order, correct? So update order if you want, okay, and delete order, correct? So this is new scenario, correct, which may become in regression testing sometime, but again login and logout action will be common for that. Alright, so this is our open order action, right? So this step is not needed. Let's remove this. So this is open order action, right? So open order action is started. Okay, here print open order action is ended. Fine. So now open order action is ready, but it's 50% is ready, right? To complete this scenario, we require login before this action and logout end of actions, correct? So now what we are going to do, we are going to call that login logout action which we have already created. Fine. So now go to insert and call copy of action. Okay, call copy of action, it will copy that whole action in our current test script, right? Call copy of action also suggests that everything is get copied from one action to other action. If we have used checkpoint, we have used here parameterization in that action, everything get copied in our current test script, right? So currently we are using call copy of action for login, right? So as soon as we click, it displays select action, and here we have to give file path, okay, of that action. So this is that test script, right? So as soon as we give file path, it displaying here two actions. So first we want to use login action, so select login and now click OK. Fine. So as soon as we click OK, see displaying run action, copy of login, one iteration. Correct? So here in this script we have added login action. Here we can also see there is a data table is also get added for this, right? So this is reusable action, right? Hence we can call in current test script, right? So this is our call copy of action as a login. Fine. In this script, if you use parameterization checkpoint, everything it get copied, right? And we can call as much as time same action in any other test script also. Fine. So we use here call copy of action. Same way end of script we can call logout action, right? So go to insert and call existing action. So this time we are using logout action as an existing action, okay, not call copy of action. So when we use call existing action, so it also get call in our test script, but we can't edit that, okay, we can't edit that, and it will be always in read only mode, right? So we are trying logout as a call existing action. So select that, give file path of that action, right? And we want logout, select logout. So this two action is reusables, hence we can call in our current test scripts, and here this icon suggests this is reusable action, right? Select logout, click OK. Fine. So as soon as we click OK, logout action is got called in our current test script. Fine. Okay, but it won't allow to add it. So I'm trying to hit enter button. See, it won't allow to add it. It is currently read only mode. Fine. So now in this script we have call login and logout action. Fine. Now let's try to run or debug this script and check our scenario is correct or not. So let's save this script. Okay, and this is our open order. Fine. Click save. Right. Debug. Step into. Click OK. Right. So as soon as we start debug, we are at line number 3, displaying run action, copy of login. So now we are calling login action. Fine. Click step into. So as soon as we click step into, we are in login action. See. Fine. Again click debug. Right. So here we have used print. So displaying print log. Okay. Displaying print log, which prompt us that which action we have started, right? Again debug, we have open login window, right? Enter agent name, password, click OK button, right? As soon as we click OK button, our login action is ended. Fine. Now we are at open order action, right? We are at line number 5. Open order action is started. Debug. Okay, we can see here that menu. Okay, and there is a dialog called open order is open now. Okay, again click debug, right? It will select order number according to our steps which we have recorded. Again click debug, right? It will enter that order number which we have set as a 5, right? Click OK button, right? Again click debug, right? So now our open order actions get ended, right? And this is that open order. Fine. Again click debug. So we are at now logout action, right? Which we have used call existing action and which is read only mode, right? So logout action is started, and now debug again. So it will close that flight resolution window, debug again. Fine. So this way we can save a lot of time. Okay, if we use actions, right? Here login and logout we can use share object repository also. We use currently local object repository. Fine. Let's try to run this script and see how fast it works, right? And we have to make sure when we make script, it order has to be proper, right? Then only it will work properly, correct? So let's click OK. So we can see how fast it runs, right? So this is the advantage of action. So we will logically segregate that whole scenario, right? So this is for open order. Same we can do for new order, fax order, update order, delete order. But login and logout action is ready. That script is ready. We have to call each time for different script or different actions, and we can save a lot of time, correct? So this is the advantage of our actions. Fine. So we have seen what is reusable action, non-reusable action. We have seen how we can call new action in any other test script, how we can insert actions, okay, in any other test scripts. So when we insert any action, we use call copy of action or we use call existing action, correct? So this is actions, right? Actions, and we can logically divide whole script. Fine. So today we'll stop here with this. Thanks a lot. Bye bye.